Thanks very much, Rob, and I'd like to start by also acknowledging the traditional owners of the land we're meeting on today and the elders past and present, and delighted to again open the Active Ageing Partnership Forum. How many of you were here either last year or the year before? Fantastic. Good to see that, and great to see some new faces, and lovely to note that across the participants we've got such a mix of support organisations, sporting organisations, local community groups and older people themselves that are here to participate in today's forum, and what a wonderful mix that is. I'd like to acknowledge the enormously important work of Musculoskeletal Australia, Rob, your work and that of Jen in running this particular project. You do a lot of work around providing an evidence-based background for a lot of the practice that occurs, and your advocacy and support services are particularly important for all older people across Victoria. And I'd also like to acknowledge the funding role of the Department of Health and Human Services and the role that Catherine Thompson and Megan Clifford play in coordinating the project with Musculoskeletal Australia. And you're right, it's a mouthful. Each of you today are involved in some way in supporting the participation opportunities of older people. And one of the things that I've shared with you before, and the more I talk and connect with older people, the more convinced I am about its importance, is that the journey of ageing from 60 onwards, which is the mandate from my role, but I have no doubt for all of us across the entire part of our life, is maintaining meaning and purpose in life is so important. And one of the things that happens for people as they age is there are a whole series of fundamental shifts that occur in their life. Sometimes they become a carer. Sometimes they themselves will be dealing with frailty. They'll almost certainly face fundamental changes in the nature and structure of their family, their friendship networks and their local communities. They'll all be critical things that occur to everybody as part of their journey in life. And if you look at today's theme, working well together, promoting active ageing, to me a key word is the word together. There's no doubt that design and interaction and thinking about services for older people is strengthened enormously if it comes from a collective and a collaborative approach. It's vitally important to consider the strengthening of networks and partnerships at the local service level, not only from sharing basic expertise and resources, which can be a very valuable thing, but also to provide some very practical support to older people. One of the things that we know for older people is that a particular challenge is accessing services and support in a timely manner. No matter what part of your journey of life you're on, every older person at some point is going to face the question that their health conditions, managing complex health conditions, looking after friends or having neighbours that are dealing with those, are going to be strengthened by having the opportunity to connect to the right support, the right services, the right opportunities to participate at a local community level at the right time. I've talked previously a little bit about some of the work we're doing around isolation and loneliness of older people. And this year we had a forum in Darebin that shared some of the learnings of the first 7 projects that the department funded in that regard. And it gives me, having had a chance to sit and listen to the presentations and the learnings of those organisations, a real sense of hope that just as older people, and people really through the whole course of life, can move into the experience of isolation and loneliness, with the right opportunity, the right intervention, with a variety of approaches, then people can also move out again of isolation and loneliness and be reconnected to the communities and the friendship networks in which they live. I'd like to share with you just briefly a couple of our learnings from those projects. And the first, that is, there is so much that local organisations of all types and forms can do by reflecting on the way they operate. One of the challenges for all of us in any organisation is that we do so much work on a day-to-day basis. We're so committed to delivering, we often don't get and make the time to reflect. And that's one of the great advantages of a forum like today, a chance to sit and listen to some great presentations, but also a chance to reflect a little bit on our own practice. To ask ourselves the question, if I was to come into our organisation for the first time, what would that experience be like? How welcome or invited or included would I feel if I was somebody that was interacting with our organisations for the first time? Sometimes it's also about strategies to connect individuals one at a time. Sometimes it's about local advertising and networks, and I'm still convinced that lots of older people have a very limited understanding about the broad range of opportunities there are to participate in a local level. So thinking about local community connection, how we get the right information to older people at a local community level, is also particularly important. But one of the strategies that the group shared with us at the Darebin Forum was sometimes it's about reconnecting. It's about looking back and thinking about the people that were involved in our organisations who maybe had some particular challenges or difficulties or other things occurring in their life and have drifted away. So sometimes the connections are people that were in our immediate sphere of contact. And one of the other things that we learnt is not only is it important to involve older people themselves in design of the services and the activities that we're involved in, but often it's older people themselves that had the connections with other older people, particularly those that are isolated and lonely. And those networks of relationships can be particularly important. The other learnings came around the importance and the nature and the structure of partnerships. Each of the activities involved a series and a group of local organisations coming together to ask themselves the question, how could they better deal with the issues and the challenges of isolation and loneliness in their local community? And some of the key learnings about the importance and the nature of partnerships and collaborative approaches were that organisations locally have the knowledge that's critically important for older people. One of the obvious things that occurs is that as people age, they tend to focus more on activities and events and things in their local community, particularly as they move to the later stage of finding health and mobility challenges. There's no doubt that we're seeing and we're at the beginning of a key shift in government policy direction, and it'll impact all our work. And that shift is that government increasingly wants to provide support and services for everybody as they age in the context of their own home, wherever that home is. And the time in life where people will, if ever, move into residential aged care will be a point of time that they're far more frail and vulnerable. And so what our community is going to see increasingly in the next decade are more and more older people living in the context of their local community. They'll see more people in the local community walking and moving around on walker frames. We'll see a whole lot of other mobility devices as our local communities start to understand that there's an enormous opportunity that many people have. And that opportunity will be to live longer and healthier than ever any previous generations. And so people will be looking for opportunities to participate in a community at a local level in so many different ways. It's really clear that as we age, we don't necessarily just want to interact with older people. We all love the opportunity to have intergenerational contacts, to think about interests, so sporting, art, craft, national parks, a whole range of things will continue to inspire people as they age. And so at a local level, the sorts of partnerships that can make a difference are the ones where people can come together and think about what they can do to build an inclusive vision about opportunities at the local community level. And never forgetting the key role of older people themselves in the design of services and networks. I applaud your focus on physical activity. One of the most important experiences that I have, or the lessons that I have as Commissioner, is observing the critical importance that it makes and the difference it makes in someone's life as they understand how they can manage multiple health conditions as they age, but continue to participate in life. And so an understanding about the opportunities of physical activity, an understanding about the opportunities that occur in local community and local organisations of all forms is so central to the health and well-being of older people. You've got a wonderful program today. I think just a few of the outstanding presentations are Associate Professor Marilyn Wise on creating and sustaining networks and partnerships, and the presentation by Ben Pollard about co-design. So I commend today's program to you. I'm sure each of you will have something to take away and enjoy your forum. Thank you.